Basketball is a staple sport in British schools, so much so it's the second most played sport in the UK between 12 and 15-year-olds. So why are the media constantly overlooking it? British basketball now receives just £2.5 million a year in funding, the lowest in over a decade. I want to discover how these cuts have affected local sides. Southampton Solent player and youth team coach Thomas Henderson believes that we need to copy grassroots basketball in places like Spain and USA if we're to see any improvement in the UK. He also believes that more opportunities need to be offered to the older players in basketball so that interest is still high.
I mean, it's just awareness and getting it up to a higher level. I feel like the youth coaching in this country is very subpar. If you look at other countries like Spain and the USA, like their grassroots it starts at a much younger age, whereas you talk to a younger kid these days, between 6 and 8 years old. The only sport they've really ever played is probably football, unless their parents are very keen athletes in other areas. So, I mean, it's about getting it out there. I think it definitely starts at the grassroots level, getting kids in and able to be competent basketball players by the time they get to secondary school. And from there, it allows them to develop a lot more. And there are a lot of good coaches in this country that have the ability to help players develop it. It's just that first stage, really. Getting the people competent or the players competent enough to do simple things like make layups, dribble the basketball, that kind of thing. Just the opportunity. I feel like that's when it really drops off for a lot of players. I mean, it's high school or college. Once they're done with that, they don't really have too many opportunities unless you're at university. And most universities, unless you actually play on a team, you don't really get the opportunities to play basketball. Southampton's pretty good with that. We gave guys, especially my first year, we gave guys options to come play fun sessions and play more competitive sessions as well as the team options. Like last year we only had one team, so unless you could actually make the first team, you'd have to play scrims and stuff like that. So it was pretty competitive. Most of the guys from the second team were actually guys that played in the scrims. So it was good for them. So I mean, it's opportunities like that, more of them popping up around the country. It's definitely going to do a lot to keep people in, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that want to move on and be serious with their work and stuff.
Of the £2.5 million British basketball receives in the UK, a huge chunk of it goes to London. Solent Sons men and women's coach Jacob Cripp believes that the funding needs to be spread out more evenly in the UK to see real change in performance and participation.
Yeah, so I'm 23, so I just run around I had loads of knee issues, so I was just getting back into it. Basketball helped, just jumping wise, and so I just continued playing. And then these guys that joined last year was really good, and so I just continued this year. I'm assistant coach for this team as well as the ladies nationals team and their team as well. So I'm I'm always in it, and I've always. I think it's more about the programs that are around. So from where I'm from, down in Cornwall, we've got nothing really down there. I've come up here just to kind of get back into it. So I think different programs might be available, with the Kestrels, more stuff with that. If they became more available, I think a lot more younger people will be more involved, and then they'll carry it on through. And that's sort of been seen a little bit with all the local league teams. A few of the guys from last year, they've already left and they've joined little other local leagues because they just want to continue. Lack of funding. A lot of the funding goes towards the main cities. Although this isn't really a main city, it's more of a. It's got a good basketball standing. But a lot of other stuff goes to Manchester, Birmingham, London sort of places. So from down in Cornwall, you get just teams down there just don't exist anymore. So everyone's kind of like moved away nearest places like Plymouth, where they've got their Raiders. But apart from that, there's not a lot of regard. It's just funding really.
Basketball is such an easy sport to play. All you need is a hoop and a ball. That's why so many young kids play it. But Thomas Henderson believes that the real improvement needs to be made with the coaches in the UK.
I know the BBC is trying to do a lot more stuff now with the BBL, British Basketball League. So they're actually like live streaming games like that. So it's getting a little bit more exposure in that regard. But I feel like it's one of those simple sports. It's one of those invasion games, you know. Slightly harder than football, because all you really need for a football is just to put down 2 jumpers, and then they work as your goalposts. You can play for the rest of the game. Whereas basketball, obviously, there's equipment needed. There's the basketball, and the basketball hoops are the main thing. But I feel like the more facilities we have, especially indoors. I coach younger kids, and the fact they come to me all the time and they say the fact that you're here and you allow us to play indoors and like outside from the cold. They say it's a real big thing for them, and that's what they one of the areas they really love about it. So I mean, it's just having those facilities and having those people there to provide the coaching for them. I mean, I don't get paid for it. But I mean, it's going to take more selfless people to come out and really step up and be willing to, you know, just do it for the community and do it for the love of the game. And equipment's definitely a problem. I mean, even at the university level, we're struggling. Like a couple of our balls got stolen, and like the university's struggling to recover those for us and like get us new ones. So I mean, if we're struggling at our level of basketball, you can only imagine like what younger levels are. And I mean, I've seen some of the balls that they supply for like younger levels and like secondary schools, and they're just, you can barely even call them basketballs. So yeah, it's definitely a problem, but I really don't know how to get around the funding unless the level steps up, which I mean, I think that just comes down to the coaches and like getting high quality players out there. So I could honestly see it that if we get a couple of players into the NBA, I can see that number skyrocketing way above 4 million.
So is British basketball really in that bad a state? Polish basketball scholar Artur Kimrich believes that we are some way behind the rest of Europe.
My name is Arthur, I play point guard, and I'm from Poland. The university level, I think it's a little bit better in the UK rather than Poland. But National League, in terms of like popularity and stuff, it's much more popular in Poland rather than UK. They broadcasting even like third league, second league, first league, every leagues. Yeah, that's right. Even like sometimes they do like online streams for like under 20 people, so you can like watch it like championship. Well, I think they should first of all do like a nice broadcasting deal, because I know like French television, they sign up for like an NBA contract, which is like 2 games a week. They're gonna like show 2 games of NBA. Yeah, they should do like a contract with NBA or something, just like to show even like one game a week, because what I know so far, there's like they don't like show any NBA games. So
Basketball is still a long way behind the popular sports in Britain, such as football and rugby, but maybe if the player performances improved, we'd see a lot more funding going towards basketball. Sign me up!